Okay, or should I increase some more light?
No, it's perfectly okay. Just be comfortable. All right. So good afternoon, people. And we meet again today, the second session. And like I said yesterday, we are going to start understanding aspects of transactional analysis, okay, which is a model of psychotherapy. Now, what is transaction analysis? I am talking to you, you are listening to me, we are doing a transaction, right? Like how we go to the bank and do transactions. Whenever we talk to people, also we are doing transactions, okay? It's called transactions. When you do an analysis of that to understand why is it that I can have conversations with some people that are very nice, whereas with some people, I can't have conversations. Okay. So this is a concept which was started by Dr. Eric Berne. Ericberne. Okay. Now, Eric Berne was a Jew. His father was a doctor. His mom was a writer, and he has a younger sister. What happened is he lost his father when he was very young, and his mother insisted that, you have to have a good education, you have to become a doctor. So he studied, he became an MD in psychiatry. Now I take you back to 1950s, where Sigmund Freud was a big name, and he started this concept of psychotherapy or hypnosis, talking therapy it was called. But it was more of a boutique treatment, meaning it was like a fantasy. It was like a facade. It was like people who had the money. It was like, high society can afford it, this kind of therapy with him. Now, Eric Berne, all these guys, these psychologists and psychiatrists were in a group. Eric Berne sought membership to that, and he was refused. All right. And he felt very upset. He said, why should psychotherapy as a mode of understanding what's happening to me or happening to someone else be restricted to only a privileged few? I know why only the rich should get it. Why can't the others? So he got very upset. He said, fine, you don't give me membership. I go on my own. And he started a different line of therapy, which is called transactional analysis. Way back in 50s, now we are 2025. So it's been a long, long time that transaction analysis has been around. All right. Now what happens is uh, he has come up with very easy to use tools. And that's the reason why I would be happy to share them with you. The first thing today we are going to talk about is life scripts. Okay, life scripts. So when I say life scripts, what comes to your mind? Who is using this iPhone? If you could please put on the video.
I think it's Samita.
All right. So what do you understand by life scripts? Anyone?
The way our life moves or we see as a picture that scene by scene how it goes. Anything like the way script goes.
The
for any
story
movie.
of each person's life.
The story of each person's life. Is that like if I say script of a movie, my life is also a movie. And who has written the script of this movie, which is my life? Who do
We
you think has
ourselves have
written?
chosen it. We ourselves have chosen it.
Lovely. And that's exactly what happens, honey. We have chosen our life script. So let me just share something with you and just give me a minute. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
All right. So live script was a beautiful concept. Now, apart from Eric Berne, there were a lot of people who have contributed to this field. And Claude Steiner was one very important person. Live scripts as a concept was given by Claude Steiner. Now, just to refer to our Panchatantra, which is like in 2000 BC, something came up to my mind, and I am happy to share that with you, that there, these five things are very fixed for every human being. Now, man means not just a gender, but every human being. When he leaves the womb, meaning when he is born, the length of our life, our faith, our wealth, and everything that we have learned in the womb. And it's so true as you look about live scripts. So I want to ask you this question. Now, if I tell you to write a story of your life, take the next 2 minutes. You don't have to write the story, a complete story. But think that if I tell you that you have to write a story of your life, what would some of the major events be? Take the next 2-3 minutes to just write that down. What would be the major events?
Major what? Suparna?
Events.
Events.
Events. Okay.
Yeah. How would your story be? Would it be a happy story? Would it be a sad story? Would it be a comical story? What it would be? I mean, just a point of reflection. Hi, who's using iPhone? Is that you, Amita?
I'm using an iPhone.
Okay, are you on two devices? No, I can
No,
see.
no, just one.
So
just
there is
one.
somebody. Amita Valley, who's using this iPhone? Can I please see you? So three things that I want you to write down is, one, what is the title of your story? What kind of a story it is? Is it a happy, sad, tragic, comedy? And if you have to write 1 or 2 sentences, describe the closing scene of your story.
That would be difficult. Closing scene.
That's the beauty, honey. We write our own script, right, honey?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's very powerful. Take the next 2-3 minutes, spend time, no problem. Hi, Mamta. How are you? Welcome. Can we see you? Can you put your video on, Mamta? Now, we are not going to be sharing our stories, but I would love you to spend some time with this, especially the conclusion. How would you want the conclusion to be? Because that's in our hand. Okay? That's not just faith and destiny, because we can change our destiny. Okay? So do spend time to write down those 1 or 2 sentences as how would I want the story of my life to be? Can we move ahead? Yes? All right.
Yes.
Now, in the words of Eric Berne, what Eric Berne actually said is that the destiny of every human being is decided by what goes on inside his skull when he is confronted with what goes on outside his skull. Okay? So it means that every human being is constantly, and more so as a child, till up to age of 7 years, till the time your personality is formed, each person actually has decided in early childhood. Now, when I say early childhood, it would be something from birth to about 7 years of age. The person has already decided based on what the person is experiencing on the outside, how he or she will live. What do you have to say to this? So, Honey has already decided what her life is going to be when she was a small kid from birth to up to 7 years of age, max 7 or 8. Because 7 to 8 is the time when your personality is completely formed. You can't change your personality. Now, life script means the child is seeing everything around: family, school, peers, relatives, home, school, community, in and around garden, and absorbing all the information. And based on the information is deciding, I want to have a great life. I want to have a happy life. I want to have a tragic life. बहुत problem है भाई. Too much confusion. And you have invariably, out of your conscious awareness, already decided the story of a life. And this is called life script. And we all follow this life script. After 7 years till the time we are alive, all we are doing is following that life script. Okay. Now, just to take it, just to explain to you in another manner, what Eric Berne says, he's written a very powerful book called What Do You Say After You Say Hello? It's a cult book in transactional analysis. He has said a life plan made in childhood. Okay, now the child has made a life plan made in childhood, reinforced by parents. Continuously, you're looking around, your parents are saying something, your sibling has said something. Now, when I say parents, it could be both your parents, and it could also be someone like an elderly person in their house, like a grandparent. So, reinforced by parents and justified by subsequent events, everything that is following in your life and culminating in a chosen alternative. Everything that is happening in your life is going on reinforcing to you that, okay, my life is going to be like this. So as young as 7 and 8, and you don't even know, and you're still following a life script. And yet, Eric Berne says that we all are born okay. When we are born, we are all okay. Okay meaning I am okay, you are okay. But what happens? Circumstances from the outside create some kind of thinking patterns, which makes me feel or makes me believe, maybe I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. I can't do this. It could be, like I said, reinforced by parents. Suppose you are a kid and your parent has said, don't do this, tumse nahi hoega. It's very tough. Or you can't come, you are not a good student. You can't take part in competition or debate. Why are you taking part in sports? Now, what is happening? A 4 or 5-year-old child is already hearing these messages. And these are called reinforcements by parents. And that has sunk deep in. And you start believing in that. And even the environment outside is supporting it. Now, today you've become an adult. You're a biological adult. And yet, when you want to break free out of that, it is very difficult for you to break free. You start sinking in. Like yesterday, I was talking about the vicious circle. Self-doubt, self-esteem going down. Why? Because this is like a live script I have woven. And I'm just trying to be a player in my own drama. I have only written my own drama and I want to be a player in my own drama. And I don't believe I have the power to change it. Okay. Now, what happens is when I am in a script, like suppose I say I am in script, meaning I have written a story of my life and I'm playing it. So I'm in script. I will be replaying outdated beliefs about myself, other people, and the quality of life. Meaning, if somebody says something and it creates a trigger, and then I get into script. Oh, this one said this. Kuch to sahi hoga. Why the person is saying that about me? Because, and then starts the need for external validation. Only if somebody tells me I am good, will I believe I am good. I am not believing that I can be good. I can change things. So it is in transactional analysis language, it is called script. So you will see as we go forward, you will see many things. Like for example, I see, say I have a friend who may be in 40s, early 40s, but she will not take any decision on her own without asking her parents. Never take a decision on her own, whether it is whom should I change my job? Is this job good? Who can be my friend? Whom do I partner with in business? Can I go to this party? These are such mundane, simple things. Now, we are all adults. Imagine you're 45, but you are not able to take these simple decisions. Why? Because as a child, maybe she was told, don't think. Whatever we tell you, you do. Or you cannot do anything on your own. You're small. You can't think. You'll make a mistake and then you'll suffer. So don't make your own decisions. And then this has become a life script. Right? Another could be, for example, as a child, somebody did a mistake and was scolded and beaten. Now, what has happened? The child has learned very early in life, do things that parents tell me to do. Don't do something outside that. Don't take risk. Because if you fail, you will get punished. Now, it is possible when this person grows up as a human being, is scared to take risk, becomes a very compliant person, डरा हुआ person, fearful to take risk, to do anything. And you're wondering, the person is so good, intelligent, good in studies, but confidence क्यों नहीं है? So these are certain things that we have picked up from the environment, and these are continuously reinforced as we grow by parents. And this becomes a life script. Right? So let's understand how's it going for you? I mean, as of now. Any questions? I'm happy to take them.
Suparna, I had read that the soul decides the journey before birth. And of course,
Yeah.
as you said, I have personally seen that everything, the family environment does affect your growth, your mentality, everything. So, I mean, as you said now, like suppose at this stage in my life, if I decide to have a happy ending, then is it possible? Like maybe my soul has decided something else. Like before I was born, maybe it was another choice. But now if I decide to have a happy ending or like all is well kind of thing, is it possible?
Yes, it is possible. And that's what I said. We have the capacity to change our destiny. It
Right.
would mean first becoming aware that what you're doing is a script.
Right.
And that's why we'll end up doing repeated patterns of behavior. Where does this ability to come into repeated patterns always come in?
From
like
childhood.
for example, Honey, Meena, y'all can any give example. I mean, do you feel that sometimes it's like deja vu? You do something, you get hurt, you'll end up saying, no, I will never do this. But you still end up doing that again and again and again. And these are called repeated patterns. And to break free out of repeated patterns, the first most important thing that we need to do is become aware. हमको
Right.
पता ही नहीं चलता कि हम स्क्रिप्ट में हैं.
Ah.
I'm not living my life. I'm living the life that maybe my parents wanted me to live, or what my grandparents had given some instructions earlier, and unconsciously, consciously, I'm following that. So
Correct.
the first step is to break free with awareness. And second step would be to take concrete steps to understand that. And this is where I will give you all a lot of tools. We'll be doing a lot of self-reflection exercises, etc. Yes, Meena, you would like to share something?
I'll add here that while discussing with you also, I said that whatever maybe some incidents came, I used to start crying in office also. And I don't know why I'm crying. Why I'm crying? Because I'm grown up. I can handle that situation. I'm at one position. But at that moment, it's simply tears are coming out of my eyes. And after discussing with you, I realized that when we go back, when first time when I was in the situation where I was a helpless person.
Yeah.
And I was not in a position to respond. And somehow my subconscious in similar situation comes responds in that way when I'm as an adult also. Because it's programmed, that script is inside script is written, okay, this thing is happening to you, now you can't do anything. You are helpless. But when you realize it, that no, maybe that time I was and I perceived it as an helpless person and I can't take any action, but now it's not the situation. I can speak, I can take action, then things get sorted. There you can change your script. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. And Meena, just to take it further, you might just want to sit back and think. Maybe something has happened at between 0 to 7 years of age. And, we've discussed, so I don't want to talk about this in this forum, but you might want to
Yes.
think of situations where you felt helpless. You cried because as a child, the only way to express express that you are not liking what's happening to you, you're in a state of despair, is
Yes.
tears,
That's correct.
right? And then that becomes your
Yes.
defense mechanism. That
Mm.
becomes your go-to comfort zone, even when you become an adult.
Mm.
So these are called racket feelings. So another day, I will tell you all what racket feelings are, but today we're talking about script. So it is, it is
Mm.
so deeply ingrained in us that most of us do not even understand that this is script that is happening to me. This is not what I want to happen. So what is a script? Okay. So script is a plan a child has made for itself and very unconsciously continues to live out in subsequent years. It's like a decision you made once when you were a kid between say 0 to 7 or 8 years of age. And most of these times, these decisions are made to just get some kind of approval or attention from parents. It could be something like, um, my mother doesn't like me to do something, I will never do that. Because then if I do something like that, she will get angry. So I will always ask her permission before going out. Now I've become an adult. Still land up doing the same behavior. You don't even realize that today you are autonomous. You're free. So life script are certain decisions that you take as a child. Okay? Are we good so far? And mostly,
I'll add.
yeah, sorry. And mostly, these decisions are taken only because you want to be loved, accepted,
Attention.
attended, get attention from parents.
Yes. The movie, which was not Choti Si Baat, similar way that his was fully dependent on parents till the time they were alive, and after that he cannot simply take a small decisions in office or propose a girl who he likes. So that's what kind of that movie also is relating to that only. So
Yeah.
once he gets into
Yeah. And if you just observe your own behavior or behavior of your family members, you'll see these kind of patterns. It's just today you are aware of it. And you'll come to know these patterns are repeating. Like, honey, in the beginning today you said patterns. Why do these patterns happen? It's because of this. You're living in that bubble of script, or you become a victim of that, like a cage. And
Correct.
pinjra mein you're band. And you just can't come out of it. Because to come out of it, you need to tell yourself, I'm capable.
Mm.
But this has become so
Confidence.
comfortable, no? Like yesterday, we were talking about victim. It is so comfortable sometimes to play victim because you get sympathy from others. You get
Right.
care, attention from others. But why do you need that? Why do you need sympathy? But it is very comfortable go-to situation because I need attention, so I will do this.
Right.
Right? Okay, so we'll move ahead. Now, so as of now, so I want to ask you a question. Who is responsible for the script? Who lives in the
till the
script?
age of ourselves.
Absolutely.
We live in a script.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I, me, myself. It's my story, my life script. I live in it. Okay?
Yes.
And now comes the tricky part. Living in a life script is an escape from personal responsibility by putting it on others. All right? I don't want to see the reality, so I'll say, no, ऐसा ही होता है. मेरे साथ तो ऐसा ही है. मेरा तो bad luck ही खराब है. So these are all script.
Sympathy.
Absolutely. You're just finding a excuse. Now the person has understood in a very destructive way that whatever was said by their parents or parental figures when the person was, say, 6 to 7 years of age as a child, it is a very destructive way of understanding that. And then this has sunk deep inside you. And as the child is growing up, you are trying your best to act up and keep up with your script because you want to honor your script. Now, what happens? You become an adult, but the script becomes a barrier to your own freedom. And this is very, very important to understand. So sometimes, it is a great thing to just sit, like maybe today after the session, sit and find out what are my repeated patterns. Okay, what are my repeated patterns? I always keep on doing this. For example, you know, it can happen to so many people. Say you have a friend, okay, a colleague in office or a friend who is toxic. Now, you know that the person is toxic, the person is taking full advantage of you, gets PPTs done by you, or gets work done by you. Honey and Shilpa, it could be anything. Do this for me now. You're going to the bazaar, just do this for me. And this is like a repeated thing.
Mm.
You don't like it, but you don't say, I don't like it. You let it happen. And sometimes you get angry and you say, next time she says that, I'm going to say, no, I can't do it.
Mm.
But you will still not go and say that to that person because you feel, no, forget it. The person will feel bad. And I'm very lonely inside. I need a friend. So you have built a cage where you want to be surrounded by people who are hurting you. You're aware of that. Yet, I would say you're enjoying it. You are making a noise about it, saying, I don't like it. But if you don't like it, why don't you break free? But you still want to be a part of it. So I've had a few colleagues at work like this. I've also had a few friends like this. And trust me, even in 15 years that I've known them, it's been difficult to say, hey, listen, you said that to me and I didn't like it. You said that to me when I was not in the room and I came to know that somebody has made fun of me. How could you do this to me? I thought you are my best friend. And you said this to me behind my back. How could you do this? Now you're feeling hurt, but it's very difficult to break free. So these are called repeated patterns. And I urge all of y'all today to think of those patterns because after 1 or 2 months, again, you go and attract somebody else with the same quality. And it's a pattern. You make friendship, you give all of yourself, you get hurt, you take the courage to break free, and again, you patch up. I can say this from my personal experience. I've done this. And I'm not ashamed of admitting that I've done this. Till the time something happens and it becomes so bad that you snap out and you say, no, bas bahut ho gaya. I have to be strong enough to recognize I have to break the pattern. So it needs a lot of guts to do that. Okay. Anything coming up for you all? Honey, Shilpa, anything you want to share before I go ahead?
I can connect to whatever you're saying so much, like 100% I can connect to this because I'm seeing this, happening in my house, the repeated pattern of something that brings a distance in the relationship, that kind of behavior, not able to overcome the fears and doubts. I'm seeing this and seeing it very closely.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with whatever you're saying, Suparna, and also with what Hani is also saying now. It's happening on a day-to-day basis. There are times where your own body energy levels are down below the gutter, and you don't have the energy to do something. And then somebody asks, "Can you please do it?" You don't have the heart to say no, where you actually want to say no,
Yeah.
and then you walk that extra mile to do that for that person, and you keep reasoning that this is okay, yaar, thoda sa hi to kaam hai. Yeah, it's okay, yaar, this is my love for that person. But then
Exactly.
that love for that person is getting stretched to the point of you becoming uncomfortable in the whole thing,
Yeah.
and you
Right.
doing it unwillingly, and yet a
Yes.
small you was saying, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. And you still are saying this, yes, it's okay, is your way of living up to your script.
Correct.
Right.
Your
Right.
Correct.
body,
Even,
your everything
and even
inside
at
you is
this
saying
age,
no.
looking for validation, even at this age, I'll
Correct.
do it, then maybe she'll think good for me,
Correct. Correct.
unconsciously. Now, when I'm listening to this, it's like unconsciously we've been doing, maybe she'll be positive about me, maybe. Like
Yeah.
these things happen to us even today at this age. We are under that pattern,
Yeah. It's
Absolutely.
for
trying to be good,
life
trying to
until you
please.
realize it, honey. And that's why Eric Berne brought out these simple concepts through his books, through his exercises to make the world aware of it. You don't need to really go to a therapist. You can just become aware.
Right.
Awareness is half the journey.
Hmm.
If you're aware, you can work on it. Most of the
Correct.
times, we're not even aware. I know another example I'll give you. For example, people who wear masks, दुनिया को दिखाने के लिए, like, you are struggling to keep up with something. Like, say, for example, people going for parties, always going for parties, and you sometimes want to say no. Bas bahut ho gaya, I can't go. But you can't say no. Why?
Hmm.
Because you want this acceptance and validation from outside.
Exactly. Hmm.
And you are living a script. It is okay to be superficial.
To be
Hmm.
superficial, again trying to make that person happy. Okay, I'll come to your house, or maybe she won't call me next time. Fear of losing
Yes,
out, fear of like FOMO hai.
absolutely.
Huh.
Absolutely.
Or even for that matter, going with your spouse or your family for a gathering where you know or you get those vibrations that you're not really wanted, and you're forcing yourself to go and stick on that plastic smile and make small
Yes.
talk where you don't
Hmm.
want to see them at all, and then just for the family, nahi, what will they think? Every time she's avoiding
Exactly.
coming, all this becomes so vicious that then you keep on saying yes, yes, yes when you actually want to say no.
Mm.
Hmm.
Absolutely well said, Shilpa. And not only family and relatives like shadi or birthdays, step out of your building, look into your society. You'll see so many people, and you are really wondering, are these my friends? Can I
Hmm.
have a heart to heart conversation? Because you don't feel safe. The
Hmm.
one day you are not there, you will come to know people have said things behind your back.
Absolutely.
And you
Right.
still are going back to become friends with them the next day, and still what you're talking is not remaining confidential, and
Mm.
yet you will speak to them. Aaj mere ghar pe
Mm.
ye ho gaya, I'm feeling upset. And you
Hmm.
know that confidentiality is not going to be maintained. It's like gossip.
Hmm.
But
We are
then,
not able to show that we are not happy with their behavior towards us.
yeah. And nor are we strong enough to
No,
say,
that is. Hmm.
yeah, no, to say, boss, it's really taking me a lot of courage to not be with some people.
Correct.
And
True.
I
I agree.
consciously do, whether it is my friend circle, whether it is um, my society people, whether it is a few work friends, I know what they talk behind my back. See, our body is telling you. You're very smart to observe. Like Shilpa said, you know what is happening. And yet, you want to do it to please other people. but not please yourself and say, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. And I
Hmm.
will not mix with such people.
Hmm.
I refuse to be with such people. It is okay to be alone, pick up a book, but I don't want to be there because I don't want to be seen and loved and liked by those kind of people. So it takes a certain amount of work on yourself. And that's when you can come out of your life script.
It needs a whole lot of confidence actually to,
And awareness.
that's to show them you don't matter.
Absolutely. That you
Mm.
don't matter. Because it takes a lot of guts. We as human beings have an inherent need. Because man is a social animal. We want to be loved. We want to be liked. We want to have the company of friends. We need people around us. We can't stay alone.
Yeah.
And that is the fear that we have. And that's why we keep on going to those people who are keeping on doing these things. It needs a certain amount of courage. And that starts with awareness. This is a script. I'm not going to do this. This is a repeated pattern of love, attachment, and say hurt and detaching, and then again going and attaching. It could be the same person, it could be different patterns of people. It's some kind of a magnetic attraction. And because it makes you feel good. You'll end up attracting all the negative people and then toxic people in your life because it makes you feel good. Because you're living your life script and you don't realize you're living your life script.
Mhm.
All right. Now, moving forward, where do these life scripts start? When do you think it starts?
At the formative years of a child's life.
Mm-hmm.
I think in adulthood,
Okay. Minal?
First incidents happen in our childhood, or when the kind of incident where that particular pattern starts. Uh,
You know,
the-
all
uh,
these scripts are programmed even before we are born.
mm,
Prenatal.
okay.
It is so powerful. And that's why, some of the things that we do, like uh, we uh, we pray when a pregnant woman, that the Garbh Sanstha, and we pray that everything goes well. Because ancestral influences
Mm.
flow through our genes. It's very transgenerational. So, and now what can some of our ancestral influences be? Pride, idealization, anger, rivalry, family rivalry, certain personal experiences that have carried on from generation to generation to generation. You inherit that. Another very important thing is, how is the child conceived?
what
Is it
state of mind?
conceived out of, yes, sorry?
In what state of mind of the mother?
Absolutely. Yeah. And not only that, honey, is the child conceived accidentally, or is it really passion, or is it because out of love, or is it violence like rape, or a marital rape, or some kind of a sexual abuse? Is it deception? Someone deceives you, or it is some kind of you not wanting to do it, and you have just resigned that, let it happen, let it just be happen. So even the way you are conceived decides your life script. Another third point would be, so we talked about ancestral influences, we talked about conception. Now the third point is, what is your birth position? Meaning, are you the eldest? Are you the middle child? Are you the youngest? Because it's usually, see, if you're the eldest, invariably you see that as a kid only, people will say, like your mother or father will say, "Tu bade ho na, adjust kar lo. Tum bade ho na, give your toy to the younger sibling. Tum bade ho na, it's okay, I'll buy for you later." So when you hear this, that I'm the bada one means you think, okay, I have to be the giver. I'm the responsible one. Or if you are the youngest child, you feel you're entitled. Chota hai na, let it be. Chota hai na, nahi samajhta hai. The person doesn't understand. It's okay. So maybe then the youngest child feels very entitled, feels that I can get away with anything. I just have to create a racket. I can cry, I can get. I can make a tamasha in the mall, I will get. And also the situation where you might be a middle child. Maybe if it's a family of 4 kids, you're the second or the third, and you're not getting attention from either of the parents, and you feel I have to be there for myself. I've got to take care of myself on my own. I don't have anyone taking care of me. Right? So your birth position also plays a very important role. Another thing is that decides your script in life is the way you were born. Was your birth traumatic? Was it difficult? Were there issues? Was there pain? Was there a lot of fear? So was it normal? Was it cesarean? How were you accepted when you were born? Were you fondled? What did people say? You think a newborn child can't hear anything, but they hear everything. Like, did you hear saying, wow, welcome to our family. You are the best gift of God. Or did you hear, oh shit, Kali hai. Arey, girl is born, yeah, we wanted a boy. Forget it. Don't see the child. So what is happening? The child has already picked up those signals, right? Another thing is, which is very sad and it happens out of unawareness, is the kind of nicknames you give to children. Okay? Something like, no, these nicknames can be very accidental, but something like emoti, like hi fatty. Or hi darky Kalia. Or, all these nicknames that we give, the pet names. Now you think you are just saying it, but the child has already heard and inherited, oh, this is my identity. This is what my parents are telling me. I'm Moti, or I'm Kali, or I'm, I'm thin,
Bichari. Bichari.
Bichari, Buddhu, Dumbo. So these nicknames or the words that are said create a kind of, they're all reinforcing your life script because you're a kid. You're, like I said, in the first definition, you're just picking up information from your environment and you're storing it. And then you're reinforcing it with what your parents, grandparents, cousins, relatives, what do you get to hear when you are in a family gathering? All that has created this life script. Now, so these were all prenatal. All right. Now, then we'll move a little ahead. So we'll talk about, okay, you were born, what has happened. And then let's talk about the early years. Now, the earliest influence is during the nursing period, the first 6-7 months. When you were a kid, when you're being fed by your mother, how are you held? Are you, does she touch you? Does she caress you? Does she love you? Does she talk to you? Does she hold you with love? Or it is just a duty? Or just she keeps you crying, 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 and she's busy with work? what happens is all these incidences, the first 1 year, leads to a lot of convictions and decisions that the child has about himself or herself and the people around him. Something like, oh, I'm not important. I can go on crying and no one is going to lift me. Or life is very tough. Or I really have to cry hard to get attention. Or I'm like a bechari. I'm very mediocre. I cannot do anything. People have no expectations out of me. Right? So this is again something happens. And then based on this, the person takes a life position. A life position is something like, how do I see myself? And how do I see myself in front of others? So it's a concept that I will probably um, explain next time in detail, because now since we have started talking about script, so I will not introduce life position. But life position again is something like, I only have something lacking in me,
Hmm.
or I'm not good. I'm minus and you are plus. You are better than me. Or I'm better than you, superiority complex. Or I'm really not good enough. So there are different life positions, and I will explain that later. So this is what happens. And then the child has started slowly thinking, oh, I'm a winner in life. Or whatever I do, I'm going to be a loser in life. You know? And probably starts thinking, what will happen to someone like me? How do I survive the world? I don't have anyone's support. Who is going to support me? And these are the things that kind of start working on the child. And all this is leading to formation of a life script. So what we've talked about is prenatal, even before conception, conception, how you're conceived, and what happens to you in the first 1 year. Very, very important for formation of your life script. Okay. So I would like to hear something. I mean, how is it going for you? Is any thoughts you want to share?
I feel there's a volcano of thoughts that are just bursting when you're talking, Suparna, I'm relating to so many things, and I'm pushing myself back to all those things that probably I was totally unaware of. Like when you are a baby, you don't know what's happening with you. You just know. Okay. Like you say, the child knows. The child knows, but the child has not understood what is happening. The process is not being understood by the child. And the process starts kind of, becoming a pattern, a thought, or an analysis by the child only when that understanding sets in the child's mind. Till then, it is unawareness.
Right.
You, because this is what the child thinks is normal. This is what is happening. It should happen. It is
Can I just
only
come a
when,
little up now, because I can just see of
no, you know what I've done? I've kept myself on the
okay.
pillow.
No. Okay.
So what is happening is these are the thoughts that are going in my mind, because there's so much of talk going on in my head. I was talking about the script that you're talking about. इतनी सारी बातें, इतनी छोटी छोटी बातें which are summing up to the larger picture of what we are today, of what I am today. All these small things have only built up. So today, slowly but surely, since I've joined you, I'm not saying this, I've already begun the journey of slowly breaking those shackles,
Yeah.
breaking myself away from that self image or that script that was what made me as a
Correct.
person, because that is not me. That
Absolutely.
inner voice inside me is saying, no, this is wrong. Like I was just telling, keep going for that party. Now I have learned to put my foot down. I don't want to go. I don't go. If it's upsetting my husband because I'm not going, so be it. I cannot be pleasing everybody and killing myself.
Yeah.
So this is what, and I'm grateful to you, Suparna, for having these sessions, or you have started this. It's giving me a lot of time to analyze and think about things in another perspective, which probably I was not, or I was thinking, and I was not having the outlet to speak to
Correct.
somebody about it. So अभी बातें कर रहे हैं, अच्छा लग रहा है. Some and their inputs, Meenals and today Honey also. तो अच्छा लग रहा है. I'm seeing, okay, here I can see that it's not just me. There are others like me who are probably following in that same pattern, or who have scripts who have been worse than mine or better than mine. That time will tell.
And you know what happens, Shilpa? See, there are some things you can't do anything about. How you were
Correct.
born and how you were conceived and what happened, you can't go back and change that. But
Absolutely.
what you can change is by positive affirmations. Like someone said, you're useless or you're worthless, you're good for nothing. Now, these are
Hmm.
some things that have come out as anger, but you took it very deeply as a child. Acha, I'm an idiot. मतलब मैं कभी सोच ही नहीं सकता. I can never do anything well.
Correct. Correct.
So then what happens is this is where you bring in affirmations. Affirmations work only when you're first aware. And then you do those affirmations to say, no, I'm good, I'm confident, I can do it. That's when it starts working on your mind to help
Hmm.
you come out of your script.
Correct.
So this is the power of affirmations only, so I'm correlating that to this. And thank you, Shilpa. What about
Most
Meenal and
welcome.
Honey? How's it going for you
Uh,
so far?
Meenal, if she wants to ask first.
See, if you want to, okay, fine. I'd say, yeah, lot of information. And again, going back to our own journey, and I'm relating these all things to my other colleagues also, where they are talking to me about their parent, sorry, their problems. But whenever we are giving solutions, they stick to some one pattern. After some time, they come back and they say, "No, I can't." They're just toxic relationships, toxic things. Just can't break through those things. Because they know there is no way out. But now going through all this information, like we at my composition, I'm not getting. Maybe I worked on myself somewhat, so that's why my thinking pattern has now changed. But for them, maybe still they need to work on all these things, like why they themselves. She's like, I just share, I'm not sharing name or anything, but she's like, her, her husband is not staying with her since last 10 years. She has a daughter, but still she can't. Whenever the divorce date comes, she starts crying. She doesn't go to court.
Oh,
And
so she doesn't want
she
a
doesn't,
closure.
mother doesn't want a closure. And then that day she said, she called me and she's like, you will scold me that I just cried and I came back. When I saw him, I started crying. So I said, and she's like, I can't give away my means keep my old mobile. How I can leave my husband who I lived first. Last 10 years he's not with me. I'm taking care of my child. Everything she's doing by herself. He doesn't bother also. But still, but now I can just relate. I was just thinking, what's wrong with her? But then I could see that maybe the way her brain has now taken those patterns and scripts, and somewhere like if I do that, maybe I don't know what patterns her brain has taken up, that what society will talk about me, and then what how I will survive. Maybe that's just few things. But and for me also few things more. There are few more things which I could now relate if I go back further rather than only being at 6 and 7. If I go back, there could be few more things which I can work on myself so that break through those patterns. So
Excellent.
that's what the way Shilpa ji said. That's an information that talk is going on inside also. That something, yes, this the dots are connecting. somewhere. That's
Exactly.
why I
And
realized.
I'll leave you with these thoughts so that when we meet next Saturday, you know, um, you've done that work on yourself, okay? And because this is very reflective. Do I really do this? Why do I do this? See, even if an outside person tells you don't do it, you will not stop it. Like Meenal, your friend will not be able to stop even if you break your head and tell her not to do it. Because खुद का realization जब तक नहीं हुआ कि I have to get out of this. It's not serving its purpose.
Purpose.
You will not be able to do it.
That's what our name is called Manthan, no? So when they said when the Manthan happened, the first thing which came out is that poison. That is the poison is what your self-realization, that bitter truth. And how Mahadev has kept it, that he didn't swallow it to damage, he didn't throw it out to burn outside society, but just hold it, understand it. And after that, everything came like Dhanvantari has health, Lakshmi has wealth, so Kamdhenu has abundance. So when you at first place, you have to understand that bitter truth and accept it.
Absolutely.
So once you accept it, then only I also realized that okay, I have created this pattern and I only have to work on this pattern now.
Yeah.
Once that realization is required, then only you can help also someone if they are not
Correct.
ready to accept. And
Correct.
yesterday, the way we talked.
Absolutely well said, Minal. And what
Very well
happens?
said. Yeah.
Maybe in another session, I'll tell you all exactly why. Because whatever is uncomfortable in our life, we don't want to go back there and see it. So we put it into a box, lock it up nicely, and throw it in some corner of our brain.
Yes.
But self-awareness means I have to go back, open that box, and work on it. Because you can change only from that place where there is hurt.
Yes, actually.
You can put bandage. Now, if I've got hurt here, if I put the bandage here, will it work?
No.
I have to go back to here because I've got hurt here. So I have to put the bandage and the ointment here. But as human beings, it's very uncomfortable to go back to unpleasant memories. Whether you call it childhood trauma or you call it anything, very unpleasant. And
I
people
will share.
are happy to not go there.
Yeah, I'll share one small thing which I learned when I was in Rishikesh with my another guru who I'm learning yoga with. There, when we were there, he was really good. Means he just showed us one cat. There was a cat who has given birth to 4, 5, the 6, 7 kittens were there. They were very small when we reached. We 10 days we were there. And she, after some days, she was pouncing on them, make them fight. They were just trying to come out and, then after that, the kittens tried to jump and they hit the head. He just called all of us. See, next day also he's doing the same thing. I say, has he got any trauma? Yesterday I hit my head. I will not go again there. He's trying and trying. And see that mother who is pushing her kids to be strong. So when situations comes on you, that nature is like that mother to you who gives you the situation to become more strong. Don't try to don't go and say Mandat ki mujhe isme se nikalo. You just find your way out. And don't get those traumas and all. See that kitten, he said. Yesterday he hit his head. He's again tomorrow there. And after 3 days he will jump.
Absolutely.
So
well said, yeah.
So he said, why you all are in that so trauma and I have had this incident, and said, don't come to me with all those things because
you got to work on them. You
Yes.
recognize it, let it be there, but work on it to come out.
And there was there were monkeys who used to come and steal from our plates. And those few 5 from his batch was very strong. They used to slap the monkeys and throw them away. He said, see, now that monkey doesn't have anything in his head, no? Night I will go back to this person and I will see his family. He didn't give me banana. Next morning he went to other person's plate. He knows that there is a danger. So you also, why can't be like that? Very.
It's like letting go.
Letting go and just learn and see, find your food another place. When you are not getting at one place, go there. And don't get in that trauma, that jealousy and all those things. No, they just create unnecessary baggage for you.
Absolutely.
And then you can't grow. And that kitten and that cat mother is like the example whenever some situation comes, no, that is really learning for everyone. So that's why I like to share it. They said
Thank you
mother
for
to-
sharing this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Honey, anything you would like to say?
No, Shilpa said quite a few, things that are actually happening, and you learn from so many things around you. Yeah, I was wondering, Suparna, like say, if my behavior pattern, something can help change uh, the life of the family.
It is always interrelated, honey.
Yeah,
Always, because we are not alone.
yeah,
When we are with other people, something about me is going to influence the other.
right,
Vice versa, we get impacted.
right.
So, but that's homework for you, honey.
Hmm.
If something is continuing and you are not able to change that, it's a
Hmm.
wake-up call for us. What can I do different?
Exactly.
What can I do different so that I can change the situation? Yeah, Meenal, you want to say
Yeah,
something?
for Hanija, I have one like positive motivational thing I will tell. What
Yeah.
happened in my family.
Hmm.
See, previously my health, my mother's health, we are in all one pattern that our health was not proper, emotionally damaged, everything. The day I started taking care of my health, I just started waking up, doing my exercises. And when my parents see, first they were like, "अरे क्यों इतना जल्दी उठ रही है? नींद पूरी नहीं होगी ये that's this." But when they saw I am determined, I am taking, and then when they say my health is improving, you know,
Yeah.
my mother is at 64, and now she also joined my batches, and now she is also exercising. And now last 1 month, she was not able to walk on the road without holding anybody's hand. Now she is walking.
Wow,
Now she also
wonderful.
got that confidence.
Yeah, that's what
So you
happens.
set up examples.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling. When they saw the change in you, then they also think like, okay, because they also have to break their pattern of thinking. What the way Suparna
Right.
explained today, they also get into that pattern. अरे नहीं, हम इतने बजे सोते हैं, हमारा नींद कैसा होगा? Then how? And then when they see, no, okay, then we can sleep early. Or no, it's not time, not very early or something.
Half an hour also makes a lot of difference.
Yeah. So proper,
Right.
unnecessary sitting in front of a TV. No, there is nothing you are watching. Okay, just to TV is there. You're sleep on time. Take a
That's
proper
also a
sleep.
habit.
Yeah, habit. And then when you are getting up and when they started actually doing the exercise, they realized that they are changing. And when that happened, when they saw me improving. So first part was like me, for me also like, okay, no, I am going to do, because that strong pullback was there. अरे नहीं सो जा, क्यों उठ गई है? You will be will feel tired all the day. So you have to put yourself very strong in that position. No, I'm going to do it. Once you see the
Yeah.
result, because result will take some time. Okay, 1 hour, 1 year at least it took me to show some visible results to them. Because
Naturally.
obviously we have damaged our health for years. It will not be in a
Yeah,
week's time.
correct.
So patience is
Correct.
also required. Okay, and that is lot of incidents will happen to pull you back.
Absolutely.
So it's very easy to get back. So I may be going, because once I started done the sessions with Suparna ji, I've gone through many things, and I started reading our sculptures also. So many things, and I fortunately I found the people who can actually give me that decoding of those all stories. The way I said Manthan about. So I just one more thing I'll add. So that if you see the Devi Bhagavatam, the way it goes, the Devi creates, she is the ultimate thing which created an entire world. And she loves all this, she creates problem herself, then she solves herself.
Solves them.
And if you ask her that I don't give me the problem, she will not like you as a kid. So that morning, the way my Guru told me that, ask her, okay, what is this new thing for me now? How? Just help me out. I want to come out of it.
Correct.
Tell me what I have to learn now. You want me to learn something? Ask her. She will show you the ways.
Yeah. So it's,
Okay,
it's
so
like
be
the power is
playful,
within
child.
us to come up with a
Yes.
solution. The question is, it
Yes.
acts like a trigger as a catalyst
Yes.
for me to think different. So, honey, to
Exactly.
your
So be
question
a
is, you might want to
Yes.
ask yourself, can I
Yes.
change my thinking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why I am in this situation? Is there something to learn for me, or anything new thing?
Right.
Maybe the situation is trying to tell me. If we start thinking that way, we will come out of it. So
We'll come
that's
with a
what.
solution.
Yeah. So
Right.
then your acceptance is something which I learned over the time. Few situations you can't change.
Yeah.
But if you say, okay, I am in this situation now, now what next? Then that situation you start thinking in a solution. So otherwise you will be like, why I am in this situation? Then you will have no solutions
Right.
for it. Okay, I am in this.
Thank you so much, Shilpa.
So
Nice way of explaining.
Meenal, that's Meenal.
Meenal, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
no issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay.
that's what I would do. Yeah, fine.
Thank you. All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to ask you, we still have some time. I want to do this exercise with you. I want just to bring back, how parental programming leaves a huge impact on us. So I would like you to write down this question and work on the answer. What did your parents tell you about life when you were little? I'll repeat the question.
Hmm.
What did your parents tell you about life when you were little? And the second question is, what did your parents say to you when they were angry? What did your parents say to you when they were angry?
So we restrict the second question only to parents, or it can also be other adults.
Okay, it can be parental figures in your life, Shilpa. For example,
Guardians.
you're staying with grandparents. It can be your teacher. It can be your guru. It can be a nanny. It can be people. It can be your grandparents. It can be elder cousins, or it can be mausies. Anyone, buas, whom are you in touch with? I would like you to take the next 2-3 minutes to just see if this question is making sense. And this is the homework I'm leaving you with. We may not discuss the answers, but feel free to pose your queries or anything that you want to share in the WhatsApp group. Happy to address that. We could keep it interactive in the WhatsApp group. But this is very, very important to understand everything that you've heard from your parents, parental figures, everything that you have felt, experienced. Someone may not have done something to you, but done to someone else, and you see that. Or like Shilpa has said, no, तुम्हें क्या महसूस कराते हैं? Two people are having a conversation and they say, अरे सुपर्णा, she's so dumb यार, उससे कुछ नहीं होगा, बस कैसे भी तो बड़ी हो जाए and शादी दे दो. And what happens to the child? So this is how parental messages leave a very deep impact in our life. And this becomes a huge contribution to scripts, life scripts. And I will take this a little further, but what actually happens is, as you grow up as an adult, then either you feel, that I have a life where there is no love, or I have a life where I can't think is called mindlessness. I am not capable to take my decisions. I don't think I know enough to do things. Or it could be joylessness, where you feel, I don't think I can have fun. I don't think we can afford to have fun. I think life is very serious. You can't have fun. So, this is how we structure our life to be either joyless, mindless, or loveless. And with this, I've completed one aspect of live scripts because I think I need to cover a few things before we go ahead, which I will do it in the following sessions. And please feel free to write your queries and everything in the chat box. So, how did it go for you?
Very good, very good. I mean, insightful. It was very insightful, how we could change, be aware of the behavior and how we could change it. We are capable of changing it.
Correct. Thank you, Honey. Meenal, Shilpa.
I'm on the
Yes.
same page with Honey. Yes, it's given a lot of insights, a lot of food for thought. Definitely a lot. Like I just mentioned, a volcano of thoughts are rushing now. It's just wanting to come out.
And
And I'm
stay with
again,
it. Stay with it, Shilpa. Many things are coming. It happens. There's a lot of unsettling feeling also because you feel मेरे साथ सब कुछ हुआ है. And then a great way is to pen them down.
yeah.
Don't let it disturb you. See, sometimes when it will always be chaotic in the beginning because you're
Mm,
trying to do something different.
mm,
But out of chaos, there will be some kind of order coming out of this
mm,
madness. So stay with that feeling. Don't get disturbed. Don't sink too deep in, but just start writing that down. And maybe when you revisit after 3, 4 weeks, I advise everyone to write down what's happening to you, especially those two questions. Many things will come up. And then when I do the subsequent sessions, Shilpa, you can go back, Honey and Meenal also. And then you'll realize, oh, and then you can connect the dots. And that's the beauty that
Yes.
will enhance your awareness.
mm,
Okay?
Yeah. Today also there are a lot of dots getting connected when we are writing down again, no?
Yeah.
Going back, more back, that gives you few unanswered things like see, a few things which we cannot make out, maybe the way you said, maybe before your birth, the
mm,
scripts or
Yes.
the way it is. So that we cannot identify actually because we don't have access to that information. But yes, then but if we make at least realize that we can work on it now at least.
Yeah.
That this is an unwanted pattern. I want to break it somewhere.
Actually,
Lovely.
the questions you have thrown, no, Suparna, those itself, that homework that you've given us,
Hmm.
that itself, I feel personally, is like opening a Pandora's box. There's going to be a whole, what
Yeah.
you say, na, waves of emotions that we are going to go through
Yeah.
because
Yes.
all of us, I'm sure, have had our share of hurt, our share of humiliation, our shares of appreciations, love. But the equation, like we made that pizza yesterday, so that pizza में हमारा equations अगर हम ये करेंगे ना percentage wise, they will know exactly where each emotion stands,
Yeah.
where each where how all these emotions have impacted our personality as we grew up.
Yes, absolutely well said. And there's a connection between everything. That's why I wanted to
Everything.
do that first. And I wanted
Hmm.
to do live script. And then maybe, I'll do a little, so that you get a perspective. Okay, why do I behave the way I do?
Hmm.
And what can I do different? Sometimes you like the way you behave. Sometimes you don't like the way you behave. Like Honey brought it out. Can I change? But
Hmm.
karna kya hai? Kaise? So this is how, answers will come for yourself. All right.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
with it and thank you. And I just stop the recording here.
Okay.
All right.